Good day, everyone. The semester is swiftly coming to an end as the finals month time frame approach. So, a lot of us will be home till January. For a student like me, this was likely to be one of the more challenging months, particularly among freshmen and first-year learners who are trying to cope with certain unusual circumstances. First and foremost, I would like to recognize our professor, Sir Xavier Apostol, for his outstanding efforts to teach every learner in his class and to pursue his student to understand the lesson, and also for molding us to be a responsible and disciplined student this whole semester. This semester was such a period of growth for every student, including myself, even it was a strange to balance a new normal during pandemic and a transition to a new school. In light of everything going on in the world, living with new environment was so terrifying at first, but later on it allowed me to develop my personality and taught me a great deal about who I am. The classes I took were one of the ways I developed as a person. My perspective of the world, especially in our subject, has changed me in terms of how I see practices before as a result of my openness to know and to be interested in their practices that leads them to have a big faith in God. Look at the things or practices that are good in our organization. What Rel-Gee or the religion, religious experience, and spirituality subject has done for me is how we should look at the differences and similarities of activities in a religion in a positive way. I've learned a lot about various religions in the course of this lesson. I continue to evaluate religion objectively. I did not, however, give up my faith in order to learn about religion. I have the freedom to study about the various religion with the help of my professor. I discovered that that other religion have a wide range of practices, some of which I accept and some of which I reject. I've learned to accept other forms of worship without being upset. Since I have a greater grasp of others people's beliefs, I have grown more modest in my judgment. It's challenging to delay making a religious judgment. Our world, especially in our country, appears to make a snap judgment and be prejudiced against others' religion. It can be challenging to hold off on making a judgment about a certain religion. One's mind is imprinted with the beliefs and religion they were taught and reared with. On the other hand, I held off on making a decision until I knew more about it. I've learned about numerous religions, and each has a different form of worship. I found it easier to understand others people's beliefs since I took the time to understand the various religions that we discuss. Understanding people's view will enable me to recognize them through their attire, behavior, and response. Religion is deeply ingrained in many cultures around the globe, and for many, it is sacred, symbolic, and even the law. In times of need, such as death, destruction, or pain, as well as during the celebration of birth and marriage, religion pulls people together. I had a terrific opportunity to study about different world religions in our subject. I was unfamiliar with many of the religions that were discussed in this session before it started, and I'm grateful to familiarize about Hinduism, Buddhism, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. One of the most fascinating religions to study was Buddhism, but it was also wonderful to learn more about Christianity, a religion that many people are already familiar with. It was interesting to read about the similarities and contrasts between different religions because there was a lot of information about each of them. Buddhism in a particular was a challenging faith. There were numerous variations of Buddhism, including Zen, Tibetan, and Mahayana. Back then, before I encountered this subject, I looked at the other religion as based on our religion I look at the other religion as based on our religion practices, which was not the same. I always ask a question to those people that I encounter who have a different faiths, like, for example, why are you like that? Why do you have something like that? Although there are also people who ask me such questions to the point that we're having simple debate or argument about the doctrines and so on. But just like the lesson that we already discussed, I became aware of the parable that helped me to understand the lesson practices of different religion. This is where this is where the word respect became deeper for me because this subject itself says that each religion or an organization has a different in teaching, practices, and others that we must understand and respect. Sometimes, these things also serve as a guide for me on how to handle someone. If I compare it to myself, I can also say that that the reality of the world we live in is that we should not look for the things we do or the things we are used to in a person, even in a relationship, because we have our own way to to show ourselves and our faith. Furthermore, in this subject, I've learned and understand that take down notes is important. I'm a kind of person that doesn't like to write all important details in my notes, but when Sir Apostle told us or required us to write that he discussed and explained to us what are the reasons why we should do that, my perspective has changed. Additionally, I have also seen that participating in religious event strengthens your faith and draws you closer to God. Being a religious follower will set you apart from the other people in society and more importantly will improve you as a person. A true religion, in my opinion, is one that preach unity, equality, peace, and humanity. To sum up, in our subject did to me is to understand and be open that every faith teaches us to speak the truth and to treat others fairly. This will result in a better society because faiths encourage moral education and the advancement of humanity. I am April Joy Malto. I am first year college student taking a Bachelor of Science in Education with a major in English. My only goal in life is to achieve my dreams, which are to be a successful businesswoman and a professional teacher at the same time. I can say that I am kind of person who is patient with everything. Moreover, I am also not very social. But I have many friends from my high school days and there are a lot of memories and experience that we shared during that time. Right now that I am in college, let me also add the people who are my friends and those are Jessa, Lyra, Jill, Rapunzel, Josiah, Christel, Sheila, Michaela, and Gerson. It's nice to communicate with them and to be with them because we exchange ideas and find new interesting things for ourselves. I am lucky to have had that kind of friendship that we had. Every person who already knows me says that I am talkative, caring, and sometimes funny person. But sometimes, if I'm not in the mood, I am being silent. I'm in a relationship already, and his name is Justin Bacani. He's also kind like me. Fast forward. The goal that I'm currently striving for is to make my family experience a stable and a better life. I can say that I am a family oriented. I love them too much. With the things that I have, I hope it leads me down to the right path, and I will do my best to make them proud.